Alright, so Liz, you want to post our scans in scan zone 69?
Let's see, how about zone 2?
Sure.
Okay.
Alright, so...
You want to go first?
Alright, so what will be your premise for your character?
Okay. My premise for Souijirou winning is that he's going to cut Ultron. Okay, so he's going to cut Ultron with his sword/law to Ultron's most fundamental part and kill him.
Alright, so you're gonna use your sword and cut me and win, right?
Not sword, a law, essentially.
Okay.
Do you want me to post
premise
scale?
No. Just let me give my premise. My premise for Ultron is that he's gonna use the things he has in his arsenal, not literally everything, just the things he needs at the moment to like defeat your character and take the dub. And I say your character because I can't pronounce his name.
Okay. Alright, so...
Alright. I want to start with my first win con.
Okay.
So, Ultron has this beam that what it basically does is that it deconstructs you on a subatomic level or so. Wait, give me a moment. Let me just grab the scans. Alright, here it is. On the scan. Here it is. Ultron has this beam that what it does is... God damn it, is Imager working? Alright, it is working. Is that he has this beam that it disintegrates you on a subatomic level, like it weakens the bonds of subatomic particles, alright?
Okay. Okay, so my counter to that is Souijirou fought Tenma Akuro. Tenma Akuro has a poison that basically rots and deconstructs you on like a subatomic level and to an even conceptual level. And Souijirou was able to like cut through it. Essentially, his law was able to cut through it. Like, it didn't even affect Souijirou.
Alright, let's check this out.
You're telling me that, like, with the sword, he was able to cut right through it?
Well, it doesn't really need a sword. It's his law that, like, that cuts through everything. That cuts through the poison that could, like, deconstruct everything on like a subatomic level, even on a conceptual level, and Souijirou's law was able to like cut through it.
Can you post the scans?
Okay. Alright, I got it.
Alright.
Okay, so in this scan, Akuro's using his law. First is he's using it on Souijirou, like trying with his poison to like deconstruct him to like to make him rot on a conceptual level, subatomic and stuff like that, and Souijirou's like cutting through it.
The scan is in Japanese.
I know, but I can't go to like find a translation, but I can explain it. That's what's like happening.
Do you at least have like wait, let me see if I can go by this with a fucking translator. Give me a moment. I'm sorry for the cursing. It's just now I have to translate the scans.
Wait, actually, let me check again.
Where's the kanji for subatomic and concept?
Wait, I can actually try finding the translation myself.
Let me see if I can find it.
Wait, I actually found it, don't worry.
Alright.
I'm finding a translation. Also, to add on for the poison, Tenma Kuro's poison is basically similar to Kai's poison. Let me just find that.
Just a moment, narrowing up the distance, and the skin of Souijirou's arm crumbled away from his fingertips. The foul smell was poisonous and further damaged the shape of the body. I'm not seeing anything for like conceptual.
Oh wait, let me just find first the scan for like narrative stuff. Oh, okay, I found it. I fucking found it. Finally, thank God. Okay, so Kai's rock ability is on par with Machina's ability. Machina's abilities is to erase stuff on a narrative level. Let me just find a scan for that.
We banned narrative shit. We banned narrative shit.
And Kai's poison should be erase shit on a narrative level, and Souijirou was able to withstand it. So
we agreed to restrict plot hacks. Like we agreed to restrict it. And your whole thing is that it attacks you on a subatomic and conceptual level, yet none of these things are suggesting subatomic at the very least. Let me just read it out loud for the judges real quickly. Quote, your first scan says, a transcendence type creation figment focused on decay. My, this is quite something. In terms of how troublesome it is, I'm quite sure it ranks with even Lord Machina's ability. Not finding anything that transcends, that suggests subatomic destruction. And also, we agreed to restrict narrative hacks again. So can you please just post a scan that suggests what you're suggesting it does?
You know what? I can't find the dumbass scan for narrative. So here's fucking conceptual.
Wait, okay, hold on a second. List. Have you just been not hearing Shinigami when he says that when he said that you two agreed to take out narrative? This is the fourth time you brought up narrative after he said that.
So essentially, Tenma Kuro's poison is on a conceptual level. Souijirou can survive it. So I don't think Ultron's Ray should do anything to it. My fucking Discord died out. I thought y'all could hear me. Anyway,
y'all agreed to no narrative, right?
No narrative. Either way, I don't need it since I couldn't fucking find the scan. So I'm gonna argue for conceptual poison. Ultron, not Ultron. Souijirou contained Tenma Kuro's poison, which is on par with Machina's fist, which is conceptual, so it can withstand conceptual poison.
Alright, so here, let me see. Let me just reread the scans again. Couldn't find anything that suggested subatomic destruction, but let me read it and let me see. A transcendence type creation figment. This focus on decay. Why? This is quite something. In terms of how troublesome it is, I'm quite sure it ranks with Lord Machina's ability. The quality of that punch was on a different level from the ones before. It was close to ones you'd get from his craving. Not only physically destructive, but also dance with the concept of death. Is this like some sort of narration with like some sort of narration explaining what's happening or something?
Huh?
Like, is that some sort of narration in the last scan you just posted? Like,
yeah.
we're reading it from the narrator's perspective. Oh, yeah. Yes? Wait, yes?
Yeah.
Alright, I can argue Ultron also affects things on a conceptual level as well. He was recently powered up with the Odin Force, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got the... Yeah, he went to fight Odin, and he took in the Odin Force. So, here it is. By the way, chat design right here, but by the way, chat design, I just love it.
Okay, so even if you can affect things on a conceptual level.
I'm not done yet. Okay. I'm not done yet. Odin was stated before that he can affect all levels of metaphysics. Just to let you know, I'm going to post to you the definition of metaphysics right here. Concepts such as being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time, and space. In fact, we also see Odin fighting against people like, Hela and Mephisto, both of whom are also stated to be conceptual in nature.
Okay, so my rebuttal to that is...
Wait, I'm not...
You're not done?
I'm still not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Here's one of the scans to prove Mephisto is a concept. We also grab another one right here. Also, Ultron even has a level of comprehension of concepts anyway. He was actually Ultron has in his weaker forms also has a level of comprehension of concept, as he went to fight the Avengers and Wanda was in the team. And just to let you know, Wanda tried to make his insides outside. Like, she tried to get his internal circuits outside, but then Ultron just resisted it. And this is impressive because Wanda was able to affect the in-betweener, who was stated to be a concept of concepts, by the way. I'll post to you the scan of where Wanda tried to make his inside outside. And here's Ultron being able to recover that. Let me grab the scan of Wanda affecting the in-betweener. And the final scan of where he's stated to be a concept of concepts. Oh wait, my food just arrived. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And forgive me if I eat.
So I got two questions, and that's can you prove that this Wanda is as powerful as the Wanda that fought Ultron? And my second question is, can you prove that this wasn't like an avatar of In-Betweener, or is like the one where you mentioned the concept of things?
The one where Ultron was fighting Wanda, like the one I just posted, is a more recent Wanda, and I'm pretty sure at the one where I've shown her affecting the in-betweener was an older and weaker Wanda. Like things before, like you learn more about her abilities, or I think it's before House of M. I think, if I recall correctly. So that's the first bit. Second bit. Why do you ask Wait, I'm just curious. Why are you asking about if it's an avatar of the in-betweener?
Huh? Oh no. What I meant to ask was like, is
And he cut out.
oh sorry. Actually, the second question doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay, so my rebuttal to that is I'm gonna go a bit into cosmology of Masada. So, Masada.
Oh my god, the cosmology scaling. There we go. Here we go.
You chill out. It's not that serious.
Cosmology scaling is serious as fuck.
Anyways, the weakest part of a multiverse contains like infinite concepts, such as duality, mathematics, law, etc., etc. Let me just post it. And what's important is this is practically like the weakest part of the cosmology. And what's even more impressive... Huh? What?
The serpent had been driven mad by eternity. All it could find beyond the infinite concept.
Can you read that to yourself? I'm like trying to find the things. Sorry.
Alright, sorry. I'll just read it after you're done.
Okay. Essentially, the multiverse is below the singularity. Okay, so the multiverse contains infinite concepts. The singularity is above the multiverse. Or is this above it? Above, there are infinite. The singularity is infinitely layered. The Taikyoku conceptually transcends the singularity and is the source of creation of everything, including creation of singularity. Let me just post. By the way, Shin.
Yeah? Yeah, what is it?
I posted the thing. Actually, I wanted to ask you, can you translate actually something?
I know a guy who can translate, but I'm not sure if he can. He's really fucking busy, apparently. Okay, I think I need to go to a therapist right now, because what the fuck? So many scans. Let me see.
I posted like 2 scans, so...
The serpent had been driven mad by infinity. All it could find beyond the infinite concepts constructing the knowledge and wisdom of the universe was a dead end of utter and complete folly. And I need to zoom in. Lovely. Taikyoku, origin of all things in Onyomundo, way of yin and yang. Concept pointing to the nucleus of the universe. To draw power and grasp the knowledge of everything, the source of all phenomena, and the origin of all things. To see all and do all. Of course, in this world, a near infinite number of laws exist. It doesn't mean that each one of those can be called Daikyoku. To draw power and grasp knowledge of everything, the source of all phenomena, and the origin of all things. To see all and do all. Are you sure that there's like an infinite number of like concepts or something? Because my primary problem right now is that it says in your first scan that it has infinite concepts, sure, but then in your next scan, it says near infinite number. Here's a question. Which definition of infinity are they using? Because infinity can also mean... I'm not done. Infinity can also just mean... inherently like the definition of infinity that we all would expect.
Actually, one thing to correct is that Yoko isn't really as he doesn't know much about the cosmology as near as Mercury's. Like Mercury's is much older than Yoko, so he knows for sure that there's an infinite number. While Yoko isn't Yoko isn't really sure, and he's quite young compared to Mercury, who's much older than him.
And you post the scans showing such?
This isn't for infinite concept. This is for the Daikyoku, for being a... Wait, let me see again. Therefore, Taikyoku being above the singularity, which is above the multiverse.
Yeah, I'm asking if you can give examples of what you just said about one of the guys not having as much knowledge, and all of these guys have really hard names to pronounce, so I'm not even going to bother to try and pronounce them. Can you give me examples of the young lad and not being as knowledgeable as the older lad?
Okay. Let me just find them.
My next win-con is that Ultron is going to give your character this beef stew, and your character is going to get nagged by the delicious factor of the beef stew.
My character doesn't eat beef.
Disappointed.
Nigga, your character's a fucking machine.
I know, Ultron's built different.
Anyways, just stay focused on the debate.
Okay.
Yeah, Shin, stay focused on the dialogue, not your food.
You're actually just
Oh my god. No, I was going to be if your actual grandpa wasn't the other VC. How down bad would you feel?
No. I just call Grandpa Gohan to just beat both of you up. That's all I'll do.
Grandpa Gohan, get out of here.
I'm still here. No.
The moment I look away from my
It's
screen,
better than me calling Uncle Max at the belt.
the moment I look away from my screen and the mic for some reason goes out, now something funny happens. Now something interesting is happening. Crazy.
Yo, listen, you find the same yet?
Alright, Shin.
Okay, you're back? Wait, you're back?
Okay,
Oh, fuck.
yeah.
Alright, go back to throwing hands. Let's do this.
Alright, finally, you're fucking back. I was laughing so hard, I thought I was gonna get erased.
Okay. Okay, so Yako, one thing I want to mention is that he, throughout the series, continually grows gets stronger and grows his Taikyoku. Why this is important is because Mercury doesn't age, since his Taikyoku was always a value of 90, and while Yako's was essentially what I'm trying to say is Mercury's was always 90, meaning that he essentially always existed in that level. and basically is on a higher dimension than Yako, while Yako is essentially on a lower plane than him and is not experienced as Mercury's. So that's my reasoning. Do you want me to repeat that?
Actually, can you just type it out because you were cutting out a little bit.
Okay.
For me, at least.
Okay, I typed it out.
Taikyo. What is this, like, Taikyoku shit or something? It's like their knowledge, intelligence.
Actually, it's like their existence. Essentially, Mercury's had like as a 90, which is like above Yako's, which at peak is like 65. And what this gives them is like higher. They're like infinitely on like a high infinite conceptual scale above each other, meaning that Mercury has like much better understanding of the cosmology than Yako. And to get back to my...
I'm sorry,
yeah?
Getting back to your original point?
My original point was, since the multiverse is like the lowest part of the cosmology, above it is the singularity, which is like infinitely layered. Above it is like Taikyoku and Souijirou has it, meaning thus that concepts and conceptual attacks, such as those that Ultron has, would be useless.
I'm sorry. And would this grant you resistances to conceptual subatomic destruction? Because my original point was still that Ultron was going to subatomically destroy you. Then you've proven that your powers are fundamentally conceptual. I then proved mine were also conceptual. But would this grant you resistances to subatomic destruction?
What?
Also, I do have concepts of concepts. Keep that in mind. have like concepts of concepts, as I've just proven, and you accepted it. Mine is not just baseline conceptual manipulation. I'm like manipulating the concept of like concepts. Like, imagine what it is. An abstract idea of the abstract idea.
Well, my counter to that is that abstract ideas of abstract ideas are fodder to them, since like Souijirou beings with like a value of 1 are already fodder to like...
Actually, wait, give me a moment. My fucking construction site is annoying the shit out of me. Let me close the window.
Okay.
Dude, I live next to a fucking construction site. Give me a moment. It was there since I first moved here.
Actually, I meant that, like, any type of conceptual hacks on them is basically useless since they're, like, above it, like, even the singularity, which is beneath Taikyoku of 1 is already...
I never denied that. But it doesn't prove to you that you are above my conceptual manipulation, because it's not just baseline conceptual manipulation, it's like abstract ideas of the abstract ideas. Like,
okay, but my point is that type of those abstract
mine is more fundamental in existence, and it's blatantly stated right there in the scans that you accepted.
Okay, sure, but like I said, infinite concept of everything, like those are like fodder to like even the most fodder beings with like Taikyoku 1, and Souijirou has like 60, so I don't see how it's gonna affect him.
It's gonna affect him because my existence that I've been able to resist is like more fundamental.
Resist?
I just proven to you, Ultron has like shit against concepts of concepts, like the in-betweener. I've just given to you the scans that show that the in-betweener is a concept of concepts, abstract idea of abstract ideas, essentially. And then you're there like, well, we have infinite concept, we have like all these things. Well, it's not as fundamental as mine.
Well, actually, then...
Also, a funny thing as well, my original point was always that Ultron will attack you on a subatomic level. And then we moved on to like all this concept shit.
Well, actually, my point was
Wait. Alright, now that Ultron is powered up by the Odin Force, as you didn't deny, that means that his subatomic destruction is also powered up by Odin's powers and the other conceptual shit that I've proven. So how can you resist subatomic destruction that is more fundamental than yours? How?
Wait, you haven't proved that Ultron's conceptual attacks can like work on that type of fundamental level, and I also like to say that like
I have via the in-betweener.
Like sure, but you didn't like show like Ultron attacks and Odin Force like affecting something that fundamental. And also what you didn't like me to say was that the in-betweener would be just like in the singularity, where like all concepts, any and all, like they, no matter how layered they are, won't work because the singularity is just blatantly above them, and above the singularity is Taikyoku, which like with each Taikyoku you're like conceptually infinitely above the last dude with like if a value of essentially sure, Ultron's conceptual abilities are quite fundamental, but that wouldn't still affect Souijirou, who's like on a much more fundamental level than is like Ultron.
you're legit not making any sense. Like, you're saying that the in-betweeners, like, concept of concept shit would be bound within, like, whatever the fuck the name was of, like, the conceptual stuff that you just did, not Taikyoku. Even though, what you've just said, basically doesn't seem to describe that the in-betweener would be bound by that. He's above that, as you accepted. And you also accepted Ultron has things against conceptual shit. And we still haven't gotten around the point that your character can't resist subatomic destruction that is also powered up by the Odin Force. So, here's a question. What would suggest you the idea that the in-betweener would be bound by that one part of your cosmology that you're saying it does, even though all the scans that we've shown and you accepted, and I have accepted, both of us equally, it's like, what? Fucking hell, give me a moment. It's like, how do I put it? You've shown me your cosmology, and I've accepted it, and I've also shown you the in-betweener scans, which you also accepted, and you're saying that the in-betweener is bound by one of these things. Except the scans that we've shown, it's like not, like, you have shown like infinite layers of concepts, but that's not enough. I've shown that I'm an abstract idea of abstract ideas itself.
Okay, so what I want to say is
existent. And those things were like, and that shit with like the concept of concepts, that was from fucking, that was like Ultron before he had the Odin Force. So it should be like stronger. So like, can you prove that the in-betweener would be bound by that shit? Like, can you show me that one of your lower cosmologies can contain a concept of concepts?
Okay, first of all, I never said that the in-betweener would be bound by the singularity. I don't know where you're getting that at. I just said he would be around that level, not bound by that. Bound by singularity. I don't know where you got that. Also,
maybe I was being autistic at that moment. But you're saying that.
Also, like, one thing is that your subatomic destruction point, I countered it with the poison thing, which like not only like this.
You still haven't proven it is attacking us on a subatomic level. You still haven't. Nothing there suggested it.
Do you know what?
I wish it did.
Do you know what? Decay. I said decay is rot and decay ability, which works on a.
Hey, guys, do y'all want to like move on from this point and eventually, like anytime soon? Or do y'all have like a few more things you'd like to say?
Actually, I focused on decaying, which should work on a subatomic level since it's completely.
Hello?
Can you hear debater?
Liz, can you hear me?
What? Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, wait.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm asking like, do you and Shane want to like move on from this point anytime soon?
Shen?
I'm fine with it, really. Because the debate has been going on for an hour, and we were still on this one point, so I'm fine with it.
Like, if y'all have a few more things to say on this point, like y'all can say it. I'm just actually wondering if y'all want to move on from this point. That's all.
I said everything that needs to be said, and I don't think anything was like countered, was contradicted or something, or like countered. So I'm fine with it. Let's bring up something
is there a few more things you'd like to say on this point?
Well, what I would like to say is that I have proven that the in-betweener would only be within like the singularity level, which is like beneath a dude with like a Taikyoku value of 1, which is father to Souijirou, who has like a value of 60. So I don't think, and also I don't think the subatomic conceptual thing is going to work, since Akuro's conceptual a conceptual decay can erase you on the subatomic as well, and so it should just cut through it.
So basically, if I'm hearing you right, you also have said everything you want to say on this point. Is that correct? Is that correct, Liz? Yeah, have you said everything you want to say on this point, Liz? Okay, so y'all move on. Alright, so since you both said everything y'all want to say on this point, y'all move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Alright, Liz, what's your next argument?
was it yours first? Okay, can I have, my win con now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find the scans. I'm really deeply apologizing for trying to find scans. Holy shit, does this thing have a lot of scans. I deeply apologize.
It's alright. Just give me a moment. I'm gonna be right back. Just need to put away my food. I just finished eating. Need dessert.
Okay. I hope that it was delicious. I hope you're having a blessed day.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Trying to find it. I posted it. Okay, so, send you there. Shen? You there? Does anyone hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Liz. It's just Shinigami's just muted for some reason.
Okay.
Walshkin's muted. What's his win con again? What's his win con again?
My win
Alright.
con is that Souijirou.
Alright, I'm back.
It was what? Wait, hold on. Wait. Liz, what was the win con again?
My win con is that Souijirou can cut Ultron on such a fundamental level that Ultron cannot recover from it.
Oh, okay. Proceed.
I posted it in Zone 2.
Alright, let me see. Oh, Bible! Fuck! Carnifex level Bible!
This isn't a Bible, okay. In my defense, this is the shortest thing you'll ever get.
Jesus Christ, this is Carnifex level Bible. Debater, I think Carnifex has competition already. Fuck.
He doesn't.
He already does. Fuck. Let me read this. Karin Kajiri Kamui. It's the ultimate destination Souijirou has long sought, but everything would eventually be cut, leaving nothing for the god of the sword. Eventually, he found a person to love and cut forever. One that desires to receive the gleam of his sword. One in which he desires to reach her core. Ability of this law is cutting all that exists, from the physical to the metaphysical, tangible or intangible, concrete or abstract. Everything is severed. Lifespan, luck, law, soul, distance, time, infinite possibilities, fate, space, dimensions, spirits, all is slashed. While his Taikyoku may seem to be surpassed, it will still affect his targets. First, the flesh is severed, then his law goes deeper, down to the core of everything. Moreover, as this law turns Souijirou into the sword himself, this ability works with anything. Even chopsticks or even barehanded will cause a cutting phenomena. Logic no longer applies to him. The idea that a single swing results in a single slash is non-existent. There's no concept of swinging, so everything is hit.
There's also, to add on to that, is that with Taikyoku, this was like, I think this was like a beginning soldier before he acquired Taikyoku. So with Taikyoku, everything will get like amplified on a high level.
Alright, so you also accepted that Ultron was amped by the Odin Force, which can affect all levels of metaphysics, right? And also conceptual stuff, like concepts of concepts, right? Right? I'm dead. Oh, wait, never mind. It's because even if you were to cut me, it most likely wouldn't affect me at all. Because Ultron's molecular rearranger in his like weaker states were what allowed him to get around Wanda's abilities, and also the molecular rearranger is also a handy repair tool on the off chance he is damaged. Here's a few examples that I'm going to be posting. This is also before Odin Force amp, so it should be even more potent. Here's like Ultron getting a part of his body severed, and he regenerates from that just fine. Let me also grab an example of where gets his head damaged and he regenerates from it. Like you see Captain Marvel powering up and like she's destroying Ultron's head and exploding it, but then Ultron regenerates. Here's him regenerating an entire fucking arm, for God's sakes. Another instance where Ultron gets hit in the head and damaged, but then he regenerates. One instance of regeneration, this one right here. All of these are lesser forms of Ultron and all of this regeneration we get amplified by the Odin Force. So, I don't think your ability is going to affect me at all, since I'll just regenerate and recover from it.
Okay, my rebuttal to that is, let me first just at some scans.
The slash is
I'm not done.
I'm
not done yet. Let me just find everything I need.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, I'm still getting stuff.
Damn. Alistair, are you reading the One Piece sequel? How's it going? The One Piece sequel of the sequel.
Hello?
I'm just
Goodbye.
waiting for the list. Maybe I was falling asleep, I'm sorry.
I also deeply apologize. I finding scans for a series that's completely in Japanese is hard.
I thought at a time that I wasn't debating you in 3 weeks, you were getting prepped.
I wasn't even getting prepped. Okay, so you can just. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what I posted. Essentially, the Flash that cuts everything. It's quite literally impossible to defend it, and it cannot be even dodged. And he doesn't even need to swing his sword. He can just shake his katana, and millions, hundreds of millions flashes will cut you down. Essentially, even Shiori couldn't find through her infinite possibilities a way to escape it, and thus have to endure it as through her defense as a good old god. So my point is, even with Ultron's regeneration, Souijirou's cutting, even with Ultron's regeneration, Souijirou's cutting, which was essentially be too much for him, since will be too much for Ultron to withstand, even with his regeneration, since Souijirou just passively existing will kill you. So I don't think Ultron's regeneration will help him. Also, for the Odin Force stuff, I'm pretty sure Taikyoku Souijirou will deal with it.
We literally just went over that shit, but in the previous point, alright, we literally just went over that, alright? But regardless of which way I'm gonna look at it, wait, let me just prove to you real quickly that Ultron can resist your probability shit. As you know, I was also
this isn't probability. This isn't probability manipulation at all.
It seemed like probability manipulation.
It isn't.
Wait, what is it though? What is it?
He can literally cut through anything, no matter what it is, and you cannot avoid it, no matter what, nor endure it, and it passively kills you. He doesn't even need to bring his sword out. It'll just kill you. It'll cut you down, kill you, maybe rape you. Just joking.
Probability manipulation, since it's impossible to dodge. Dodge hacks negation? Question mark. Ultra instinct negation. Thank God Godzilla's not here. He would spurred.
So
I don't know. It sounded too much like probability manipulation when you said that it's impossible to dodge.
Well, it's not the concept of dodging doesn't the concept of dodging doesn't exist. The concept in Souijirou's law, the concept of dodging doesn't exist, so you can't evade it no matter what. It's not probability manipulation. It just works that way.
I'm also above these kinds of concept of dodging, but just so I can be 100% showing you that I've just proven to you that I'm above the concept of dodging via being above.
Can you show a scan of concept of dodging?
The in-betweener is above all concepts, and he's a concept of concepts. I've just proven that to you.
Okay, he says he's a concept of concept, but can you show a scan where he says he's above the concept of dodging?
He would inherently be he's above concepts. He would inherently be.
Well, my rebuttal to that is they're already above infinite concepts. They're above a realm that's above infinite concepts. So
Dude, we're literally
essentially,
just
those
gonna circle back. Dude, we're literally gonna circle back to the previous point where like we were going on about like concepts when the whole point was subatomic destruction. Let's not do that again here. We left it up to the judges, like on that one, right? I think that's the way to say it. I'm gonna argue to like counteract that Ultron would still regenerate even after you cut him. Like it's impossible to invade and recover from or something. Wanda is basically the nexus of beings. Like she's the nexus being. And she has access to endless possibilities. Now let me see. She exists equally to all possible timelines. She, manipulates them. Let me just grab other scans of like Wanda's probability manipulation. I'm just showing you how powerful it is on this level that it's being explained. But let me show you other examples of Wanda's probability manipulation. I'm sorry if I sound tired. I think that yelling just that I did in the previous point just sucked the soul out of me.
Don't yell. Are there any more scans?
I do.
Okay.
She can manipulate a lot, like a buck ton of shit in the universe. She's a focal point to all magical energy. Here. Which made it all the cornerstone of the entire multiverse. And this is all relevant, as I'll say later after I show all these scans.
Okay.
She can view how all different probabilities play out, even like manipulating alternate timelines. Ultron was able to fight off against that. So even if we're a whole thing that oh wait, I just remembered as well. There's this other thing about the in-betweener as well, just to prove to you further. Just to prove you as well that he's above the concept of dodging. Let me post you this scan right here. I completely forgot about it for some reason. I don't know why. Here it is. It says right here with the in-betweener that he's the synthesis of all dualistic concepts in the universe, walking between the concepts of life and death, reality and illusion, good and evil, logic and emotion, and God and man, to name a few, obviously. It also says, as a cosmic entity, he possesses immeasurable intelligence, stamina. There it is. His understanding of the forces of time and space is far beyond human comprehension, as it also says right here. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit to prove to you as well in this one data book scan that the in-betweener is also above the concept of dodging. But if you also want, here's Wanda scans where it says that she has control over every single probability and Ultron can still fight it off. As I've proven to you.
Where does it, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but where does it say the concept of dodging?
He's above all dualistic concepts.
Yeah, it mentioned...
In-betweener is the synthesis of all dualistic concepts. It says all. All dualistic concepts. Not just some dualistic concepts. All of them. It says right there, blatantly. So it would inherently include the concept of dodging. Wait. Ah,
Okay.
wait, let me just I'm stretching. Man needs his exercise. Okay, here we go. You have anything else to mention?
You're done with your point?
Yeah?
Okay, so my counters are Wanda, who can like control like infinite probabilities, possibilities, stuff like that. Shiori, who could also do that, who can like control possibilities, probabilities, stuff like that. Souijirou didn't care, like he still cut her up, which means he's a wife abuser since she's his wife. So yeah, epic wife abuse. Okay, sorry. Okay, so even stuff like infinite probability manipulation really doesn't mean anything to Souijirou. He could still like cut through everything. And as for the infinite dualistic concepts, that would just I could just argue that that Souijirou no, the multiverse already has like infinite concepts and stuff, so which is like beneath the singularity and beneath Taikyoku, so Souijirou's cut would still Souijirou's cut would still be on. Can I finish?
Alright.
So my point is, even with all this, Souijirou's cut would be on a much more powerful scale. Even if you like downplayed Souijirou and said that this is above him, his cut says that like even if the opponent is stronger, it will still cut through them. Like even if they're like more layered, it will still like cut through them. So yeah.
Dude, about the whole conceptual shit, my shit is still more fundamental. Like, I've shown all the scans that prove to you my existence, that the shit Ultron was able to get around, it's more fundamental than your own.
Okay, even if we...
I have presented concepts of concepts, and really legit, just like, going back to the previous point that we left up to the judges. Like, can we focus instead on the probability shit instead?
Okay, so my count. Do you want to say something?
The only other thing I got to mention about Wanda's probability manipulation is that it would obviously be more potent than just manipulating infinite timelines and infinite probabilities or something. Since, I was able to prove she affected the in-betweener, who is like a concept of concepts. And, she could barely even do a thing to Ultron. And then, Ultron would get amps by, like, the Odin Force, which I've also proven would amp him even further. I've also shown you the level of regeneration Ultron has, so just cutting him in half isn't going to be enough.
Okay, so my counter to this, even if we said that all this is, like, more fundamental than, like, what I've shown, which I disagree with, Souijirou would still cut it. Like, his whole thing is, like, being for, like, more fundamentals, and then he can still, like, cut through them. And after the probability manip, Shiori has, like, Taikyoku. I can't remember the exact number, but around, like, 60, which means, like, she's already, like, above, like, concepts are all, like, meaningless, like, fodder, like, with one value. And, like, her probability manipulation is above that, and Souijirou could still cut through it. Even if we were to say that Ultron's, like, more fundamental than Souijirou, Souijirou would still cut through it. And one thing, Souijirou, like,
Alright.
isn't just, like...
Alright, hold on. I've had enough. When are y'all going to conclusions?
I'm open to it.
Let's when are going to conclusion?
If we go to conclusions, I'll literally be sad because there's a bunch of things I want to use for Ultron.
No, we're not doing that. Nope. When y'all going to conclusions?
Okay. All right.
Can I just finish what I was saying, please?
Yeah, finish your sentence and go to conclusions.
Okay, so essentially, even if like Ultron is far more fundamental than it's still cut through him since his probability is cutting through beings are like far more fundamental. And I don't think that like the probability Wanda has is anywhere near Shuri, which Souijirou cut through easily. There.
Alright.
I'm done with my questions. Alright.
So let's go to conclusions.
Okay.
In conclusion, I think I won the debate. I diff. The reason being is because my first point was about the subatomic destruction. We were able to prove that our characters are conceptual in nature with like all these amps, but I've proven that I'm more fundamentally conceptual because like weaker Ultrons can like get around like Wanda, who can manipulate who can like affect the in-betweener, and as I've proven, that List couldn't prove is that he's more fundamental than anything he has shown in his verse. Like the in-betweener by himself is more fundamental. And Ultron got around that, as I've proven, and he accepted. And then we will include the Odin Force amps, so Ultron would be even higher, more fundamentally in existence. And regardless of what you think, List couldn't prove that his character would get around subatomic destruction. Sure, it says decay, but that wouldn't inherently suggest subatomic destruction. Like you could probably suggest molecular bonds like are weakening or something, but nothing there suggests that it's subatomic destruction resistances. And as for List's second point, literally it's about the same. He affects all levels of existence. I can also affect all levels of existence thanks to like Odin Force and the in-betweener. And Ultron's regeneration, we just get around it. And even if like Souijirou can like just cut through anything, it's impossible to evade, some Kenpachi level shit. Ultron has shown like combating against Wanda's, like weaker Ultrons as well, can get around Wanda. And she has like manipulation of all probability in existence, and she also affected the in-betweener, who, as I've just said, is a concept of concepts. So it would be even more fundamental than anything he has shown, and Ultron got around it in his weaker form, and he would get amped by the Odin Force. So with all these amps, and my win con not countered whatsoever, I think I won high difficulty.
Can I give my conclusion?
Yeah, you can give a conclusion.
Okay. I personally, I do think I won this, is because the decay ability, I haven't shown the scan for it, but like it does like affect. It like does affect you on a subatomic, but I forgot to mention it. And for the whole fundamental thing, I do believe I have like presented that like in-betweener's existence would only be like around a singularity level, and that Souijirou would still be above it, even with like Odin Force, and Souijirou would be above it. As for the second point, essentially the second point, I do believe I have like shown evidence that even if like Ultron is more fundamental than Souijirou could still cut it. Even with like probability manipulation, Souijirou would still like cut him, and even with Ultron's like regeneration, Shuri, who can like infinitely, I think, regenerate, Souijirou could still like beat her. So I do think I won with high diff. So I'm gonna give it to the judges.
All right, so I'm gonna go first. Let's see. So I'm gonna start. Shut the fuck up, Bata. Shut the fuck up. So anyway, so basically, right? So the debate started. They were on like Subatomic. They went on to like Conceptual. So, but this is basically the main thing. So Shinigami, he used like concepts of concepts, and he shows scans of it, and he gave his scaling. Him and List agreed to that scaling. Then then List gave his own scaling, and to be honest, the debate pretty much like ended here, because once that point was over, the debate pretty much ended, because Shin had like all the metaphysics on his side and the concept of concepts thing on that much of a level. I don't think what List said and argued was enough to beat that. And it's like List can't even like go back and try and like debunk the concept of concept scaling or the other thing like that. Because List earlier in the debate asked for context, Shin explained it, and then List went right back and accepted it when he did that and starting the point. So it's like the debate pretty much ended from there. The nigga is just like way more fundamental. So and like List argued like the sword that can't be dodged. I don't know why he was arguing like sword can't be dodged if that nigga was just arguing regen, but even if it could affect him, I think Ultron would just regen from it. And Shin also showed like the all possibilities thing, countered as well. So at the end of the day, like Shin just like won this debate like a long time ago. So I gave it to Shin like low difficulty. So Gravity, your turn.
Alright, so I pretty much agree with you, debater. All out, it was the subatomic thing, and then once that in-betweener stuff came up, and then it kind of went on for a bit, that was kind of, it came clear to me that, even then, and it kept looping back to it somewhat, that Shin kind of had this. He proved he was superior fundamentally, and all that good stuff. And it really kind of just boiled down to you couldn't do much to Ultron, but even if you could, he'd just pop back from it, and it wouldn't really affect him even if you could. But just through pure, just a fundamental superiority, I think Shin took it with Ultron. He really came in, with the reins in his hand, and I appreciate the Heartless. You really showed a lot of your knowledge of your verse into it, but I got to give it to Shin. Say mid-low, just for the heart, for List going in there and really swapping hands and trying to actually weed out a way to win, but it just wasn't there for him.
Yeah. Also, I want to say that I think Shin had the advantage on the point where he was like the much more assertive debater in this one. He was just a lot more assertive, and he just allowed him to just like push his points a whole lot stronger than what List was in.
Crimbus is also a judge.
He wasn't listening, so he can't judge.
I started eating like immediately.
And when Crimbus eats, he doesn't listen.
Well, if you can watch, would you be down to watch the recording at some point and maybe give your thoughts later on to him? If you have time. Obviously, I'm just asking. If you don't, obviously you're a busy guy, so I'm just asking, hypothetically.
No, I'm gonna stay out of this one because two judges got confirmation they're thinking the same thing, and they're making it sound pretty blatant. They both agree with higher levels, and there was a win con that wasn't challenged in their eyes. Then there's not much else one other judge could do.
I mean, yeah, that's fair, honestly. Yeah. I mean, others can give their thoughts. on stuff. 'Cause I know I have thoughts.
Bad time. You're a fucking clown for that.
That's when you're banned from saying anything.
Listen, I had fun. I had fun debating this. Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah.
I also
Corin, what are your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts. Yeah, I thought this was a really good debate. For real, not bad at all. I actually complimented you as well on your knowledge of your verse. But if y'all want, I can actually explain why a little more into detail that the judges didn't really do, if y'all want, as to why he actually had all your stuff, if y'all want
I'd like to hear that. I missed everything, so I'd like
I didn't really extrapolate much. But, these niggas. But anyways,
Dang, that's a strong shadow punch you gave there, Acorn.
Yo, debate. I think she was like, yo, you gotta explain to the diff thing you were saying. You proceeded not to do that.
So the thing is, List, which Shin did actually bring this up and grandstand it a few times. So here's the thing. So what you kept asserting that the in-betweener was around the singularity level, like he was around that level, which the singularity, just so I'm right, just so I don't get you wrong, was that contains infinite concepts. You said, right?
Actually, I said the multiverse has infinite concepts. The singularity is like above it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It wasn't really extrapolated on as to how much above it, right? And just transcending those infinite concepts, like Shin was also pushing on why would that be as fundamental. Like, it really wasn't extrapolated on as to why being beyond infinite concepts is inherently the same as what he's demonstrated for the fundamental importance of in-betweener. But here's the thing, though. This isn't even like what seals the deal inherently, because this, at best, in my view, would put you all around the same ballpark of that. But what really sealed it for him was you accepting that he can affect all levels of metaphysics, and then him dropping what that entails just on one level. So, like, the thing is, he's not just talking about, like, a single form of metaphysics or even, like, a couple within a room, right? Just throw a couple within, like, one space. He's talking about actual levels of, like, hierarchies of metaphysics, which actually does entail a lot more than even what he's shown with the in-betweener and what you showcased with your character. Like, we're talking all levels of such, and he dropped the definition as to what that entails, and that's what really sold it heavily for me, because without that, I would see y'all are roughly comparable in that regard, and y'all would have been, it kind of would have been a stalemate almost, solely because of the stacked on top of that. He just had way more potential than what you had, and he actually was above the duality of dodging. Like, he's above that concept. So, like, I don't, like, he did actually point that out, like, because he pointed out all dualistic. I think at some points neither of you were understanding each other completely on both ends. But yeah, that's just, so I do ultimately think Shin had more on the table, and that really sold it for me on that. But I'm not a judge, but I just wanted to extrapolate more on the reasoning for that.